Shirts and skins, let's get it. Yo. Shirts and skins and we back again. The best coverage in college sports, we come to win. With Brandon, Mark, and Matt, no one go hard as that. Share it with your folks and they'll learn where it all be at. It's just three of the guys, childhood friends that be setting the vibe with a few hot takes, jokes, and predictions. Love the Boise State, we now welcome you to listen. Shirts and skins, let's go.
Bronco Nation, what is up? This is the Shirts and Skins podcast. I'm Matt Lamb, alongside Brandon Miner and Mark Moss. Mark, let me wake up on a Sunday morning super mad about
just pissed.
Wait,
Boise
what?
State
Yeah,
football.
just
Moss.
pissed.
Pissed was not the right word. Fired up.
Agitated.
Fired up, ready to go. Come on.
You were coming in hot.
Coming in
on
hot.
a couple
on
different
just-
text threads.
Just
Possible.
a little sassy.
I know. Like a little much, actually.
Little
to be
much.
honest. Like a
Come
little
on.
much.
Come on.
Guys, week one is under our belts. The college football season is underway. We took down Georgia Southern. We're going to get into that. We have Oregon coming up, which is apparently a big deal, I think.
Are we going to talk? We should probably talk about that.
We'll talk to that. I think we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Got some good stuff for you. We
Yeah.
got some hot takes to check
Okay,
up on,
yep.
some receipts.
Yep. Got to get receipts.
We got some new hot takes apparently from
Yep.
Mark Moss, who is just eager to let us know what his next hot take is. So
See how it
if
goes.
you've never listened to the whole episode, stick around. This is going to be a good one. I guarantee it. I don't know if you're mowing your lawn.
Guaranteed. That's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot
I don't know
take.
if you're mowing your lawn, if you're doing dishes,
Yeah. Clean out the garage.
doing a crossword puzzle.
That's what we did this morning.
On a drive.
Yep. On a drive.
Whatever you're doing, thank you for making us a part of your life, part of your day.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Like.
Smash.
We need a couple more likes, a couple more subscribes, right? Be good.
We'll take all of
Be
that.
fun. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Guys, we had a game. Georgia Southern.
Good to be back.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
We ready to jump into it?
Let's do it.
Okay. Where do you want to start? Offense?
Well, we
Good
won.
or bad?
Well, we
Overall?
won the first time since 2019 on the road.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. We won.
We did win. And that's a huge thing, guys, because the fact that we started 1-0 means we can't go 0-2. And that was a huge possibility, right? And
I guess, yeah.
our good buddy Dayton pointed that out to us.
Didn't we go 0-2 last?
Last year.
Just last year.
And we were like, I don't know when that's happened. He's like, guys,
last year.
year.
Yeah. Dayton will always
If
hold
Dayton's
us
ever
to
in town,
account.
he comes into town for games, right? I wonder if we should have Dayton on.
we
we should have
we,
Dayton on.
Come on,
we need Dayton
He's
here
an Idaho
doing.
Falls guy.
Well,
Get his computer and do his thing.
he needs to be.
spreadsheets.
We need the guy behind the guy in the chair. We need
Yeah.
like the guy
Oh, yeah,
behind
the bear.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we need
oh, well,
that
Jake
guy.
Jensen hashtagged that he wanted to be the Shirts and Skins
Oh.
stat guy.
I'd be happy
So
with Jake.
he's in the running.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
more local.
That's true. Yeah, we need it.
Let's talk about the game, though, guys. Impressions.
Well,
Mark,
we could.
come on,
I mean,
Mark.
What
Mark
we,
always
we,
has a.
We could sit here and. I mean, I think Spencer Danielson was correct in saying it's week one. We're 1-0, first time in a while, as Brandon said, and we found a way to win the game. And so, if we wanted to end there and go home, we could, right?
Would you rather
But-
have the result we had, or beat Idaho by 2 touchdowns? Like, would you rather be BSU coming off the game they beat against Georgia Southern, or Oregon coming off the game they barely beat Idaho?
That's a good question. I think that.
I would feel much more confident in Oregon's situation.
I just think, as far as the results of the first game, your expectations of Oregon were to be 100-0, right?
Yeah.
And they ended up being what, 21?
24-14.
Yeah, 24-14.
10 points.
That was very misleading.
Yeah.
though. I mean,
Oregon
when you
stubbed their toe a
when
bunch.
you pick it apart, they outgained Idaho by 300 yards.
Yeah.
They had 50 pass defense.
300 yards. So
Still.
Idaho, kept it close. Good job. I mean, 2 trick plays to score their 2 teeters.
Which, by the way, I was a little
which were
jealous.
awesome. I
Yeah.
haven't seen those in forever. But
Yeah.
I think that is not in any way an indication of who Oregon is or what we're going to see this coming weekend. Okay.
No. I
So
agree.
I think we're going to talk about that here coming up. But I heard Mike Prater on on BNN this morning, and he was trying to sell that that's a big this week. That's one of the big points he wants to follow is how do we look against Oregon compared to how Idaho looked against, and I think that is the dumbest thing. Like, who cares? Week 1, I like Prater, but week 1, they went super vanilla, right, on offense. They stubbed their toe in the red zone. They could have put up 50 whatever points. They ended up putting up. Well, I don't even think we need to spend time on that. Idaho, at least they're not complete trash. Although I did see that their quarterback broke his collarbone at the end of that game.
The Idaho
Idaho's.
one. Oh,
Idaho's.
he did.
Yeah. So,
Did
anyways,
you hear Mike
they play Wyoming
Sanford
next,
after
but-
the BSU game?
No.
So Mike
I did hear
opens
on
for BNN,
Yeah.
and he's like, got to check on the DAVs.
Dog.
The Doghouse Vandals, which I thought was hilarious.
I like
dude.
Mike. He does a
I
good job.
never heard of
That's
that.
a known term.
That was hilarious. I didn't know that.
I like Mike.
Can I give you my assessment
Of the game overall.
Let's hear it.
of the game?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was incredibly exciting watching Jeanty do everything he did, and it was really cool to see, or at least my algorithm picked up on Twitter that I like Jeanty, because that's it. I mean, there's tons and tons of press on Jeanty. It's probably the first time in how long since we've had this amount of pub on any player or any BSU personality.
Never had it before.
And props to Boise State, too. It's a new era, but, like, they're going all in with Jeanty, the Heisman thing. And I know, like, under Coach Pete and whatnot, that was like, we don't talk about the postseason. We don't talk about the New Year's Six. We don't talk about those things. But times have changed, NIL, Twitter, just everything. And I think props for Boise State. And then props for Jeanty. I mean, it's pretty ballsy for the school to send the media nationally, like, the Heisman stuff that they did, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes out and second carry goes 77 yards. So, I mean, he's a stud. We knew that, but he broke the record for touchdowns of our buddy,
John Helmendauer.
He was
one of, like, how many?
one
that
of
have five?
several,
Yeah.
Ian Johnson, a couple more. And then he broke the total yards. So that was rushing yards. So that was, like some of his teammates said, awesome, but not surprising to them is kind of what they basically said.
Yeah.
And he's a stud. We're lucky to have him.
So there's that. I think that was incredible. I thought what Danielson said, that he's the best player in the country. You can't prove him wrong.
No.
And I think it's cool that a bunch of people were saying that he's the RB1 coming out of college, which I think is pretty cool. I thought Syer Gaines was a cool surprise to see how well he was doing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just our O-line's really good.
I think that's a big part
There
of
were
it.
some big
I mean,
holes.
you saw those holes. Yeah,
Some big
we've
holes.
got some great runners. But, yeah, I think you have to give credit to the O-line.
One thing Dirk Cutter said, and because, I was at the press conference, obviously, Shirts and Skins going to get there
We were
for you.
represented.
Yeah. Not that we're going to bring you much from it. It's just like there's a lot of other people. But anyway, I thought what Cutter said was the team is hard. It's hard to get everybody to have an O-line mentality because you're all blocking, including receivers and tight ends. You're all blocking.
He went around a bunch of receivers. Like, who was it?
You're talking
Caples.
Cutter? Yeah.
Yeah, Cutter was saying Caples blocked so much.
Yeah.
Matt Lauder, he only caught 2 passes, but, man, he was blocking like crazy.
Yeah. So having an O-line mentality, I think, is tough for wide receivers. But I thought that was a cool idea. That's a cool point. And the identity is running. And so that's something they're just going to have to live with. So the offense was great. And I don't know what to think. So
Do you want to talk
let's
about
talk about
Mad Dog?
Madison. Yeah, let's talk about Madison. I don't know what to think about him yet
Yeah.
because I don't think he was really tested.
And he did good enough. Did he throw a pick? Yeah, he had that one on the 2-point conversion, which doesn't count.
Yeah.
But
He had another pick.
No, he had one.
I know he had
Okay,
2.
sorry. Yeah.
He
I
had
watched,
2?
I watched the game.
The
They don't
2 points
count
don't
the
count.
one on the 2-point
Oh,
conversion.
okay. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, gotcha.
So the one he had, it's like, yeah, that's going to happen to whoever.
It was a bad throw.
Bad throw.
That was a bad throw.
Does it happen to good quarterbacks? Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. But you look at his numbers, he was what? 21 for
71%.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was a big
71%.
deal.
When was the
That's-
last time we had a starting quarterback throw for 71%?
That's a big deal.
We've been used to like mid 50s.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't see any of the hate online.
People say that there's hate.
I didn't
don't
see.
see it. Maybe I don't follow those
Yeah.
people. Like,
One of those
who are
people,
these people hating? Who?
Nacho Tay, was getting kind of pissed at everybody spreading hate, and he lashed out.
Good.
But
Taylor
who's spreading
Whitney?
the
Taylor
hate?
Whitney.
I don't know.
Guess
I'm still not seeing the hate.
I don't know. And honestly,
Maybe it's buried in the comments that we're not seeing. I don't know.
if it is, then you're overly sensitive to it because you're looking for it, right? And I just didn't see it. Maybe if you click on that one comment, then it's going to show you a bunch more. But I didn't see a lot of hate. I don't think there was a lot of hate to give to Mad Dog because I think he did well enough and he did fine. And I don't think until he gets, he's got a lot of way to build trust for the fan base, rightly so. He's new quarterback, new starting quarterback. He wasn't tested, which is great, right?
He wasn't tested as far as like he wasn't getting hit, he wasn't getting pressured because he wasn't.
No, and
he didn't get hit once.
And the
I
game
don't think.
didn't. And the game didn't come down to him, right? Like there wasn't a lot of third down conversions that he had to make. There weren't a lot of positions that he had to be in there to say, okay, you have to score here.
Yeah.
Some of those plays that we scored on were on second downs or was early on, and so it wasn't really in doubt from what I saw. Right now, I think there's going to be times where I think what's really great about this offense is that the O-line kept there were no sacks. The O-line, if you don't have sacks, then every down you're gaining a yard or two. And so when it's third down, you're not behind the chains. And so you could have 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2, which is an incredible position to be in for a quarterback. So I think that's really good about our offense. What else?
Yeah, I think one thing real quick just about Mad Dog was yes, there was the pick, but other than that, he didn't do anything like disastrous, right? There wasn't any like, oh man, because after he threw the pick, they went right back, long pass play, another decently long pass play.
And you're on the one.
And he was right there.
Yeah.
And so it's like he could have messed those up or that drive could have stalled out because he had bad throws or whatever. Those are things that we were used to from last year. And so was it amazing over the top? No, because Jeanty had the spotlight, but he did well enough.
I was watching the game with your brother, your oldest brother.
Yeah.
How'd that happen? Where was this at?
So I was at a funeral in Utah.
Really?
Yeah. On Saturday.
Who?
My uncle.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, and I stayed with your bro,
And your bro.
and my bro. So
Your bro
it was
and
a
my bro.
Bro fest. Yeah, I was. I came back same day, Saturday, and anyway, watching the game. Your brother's family wanted to pull Mad Dog.
What?
Hard, like
His
they were
sons?
after his sons.
After the what? After
They
the one
told
day?
After the pick. After the pick. I think it was a combination where the stat came out. He was 5-0 on pass completions, and then he was like one for five, and then he threw the pick.
Yeah.
And they're like, get him out. They were like quick pull.
Quick hook.
And so, but Ren's your older brother. He's got a lot of patience when it comes to the situation. So, but anyway, I didn't think he did anything great. I didn't think he did anything horrible. And so I still think he's the guy. So
Yeah, he
Until
didn't do
further
anything
notice,
to say that he's not the guy.
Until further notice, we trust Dirk. That's the.
I thought it was interesting.
I don't have a lot to add
Yeah.
on that. No.
I do want to talk about the wide receivers because there was an interesting stat. I think the wide receivers are going to have a tough year.
Sharing the ball?
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway,
Because there's a lot of good ones.
So there's a lot of good ones. And here's some of the snaps. So Camper had the best game, right? And it almost like they were going to him. It almost looked like they were going to him. But Dirk said, hey, some of those plays weren't called to him, but the coverage is dictated throwing to him, right? But let's just look at it. I didn't know if this is how you guys would think the snap count, 70 total snap counts, the wide receivers that got the most. Who do you think got the most?
The Caples.
Caples got 55 snaps, right?
Makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think coming out of camp, he was kind of the kind of the alpha.
The veteran.
The veteran.
interesting.
Yeah. I
All
think
right.
that was accepted.
55 for Caples, 34 for Camper, 28 for Prince Strawn, which surprised me. I didn't think he got in the game much.
He was there. He didn't get targeted, right?
He didn't get a target.
thrown to.
Yeah.
No targets.
Bolt got thrown to once.
Bolt had 18 snaps. I actually thought Strawn and Bolt would be the top two of the top three.
Maybe their time's just coming.
Marshall got 21, so Bolt got 3 less than him. Bates and then Ford got 5. Is Ford a local product?
He's from Eagle.
Eagle High.
He
Cool.
played quarterback at Eagle.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he had his catch was
Big
big.
catch.
Yeah, third down.
Big catch. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. I think that's a storyline I'm interested in following and seeing who gets snap counts and the targets for wide receiver.
It became a storyline today.
Why?
You were there, but I was on the road down from McCall.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were there, so maybe you didn't catch it, but it caught my ears when Dirk Cutter was being interviewed. He twice basically alluded to, you go back and listen to it, and he talks about there being a lot of receivers and a lot of mouths to feed. And you make the conclusions for there as to how happy the guys are or whatever. He alluded to it 2 times. He did. Listen to it.
Okay, I will. But here's another thing
like
about Dirk.
There might be some murmuring.
Okay,
there.
but here's the thing about Dirk. Here's how
Did I not hear that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not saying you didn't.
I didn't get that impression.
Mark's just stirring up controversy.
No, I heard what I heard. Twice. He was there for less than 10 minutes. Twice. No one asked him specifically, are people upset about not getting the ball? And he danced around it twice, basically saying that we got a lot of mouths to feed. And you kind of mentioned it. They have to have a offensive lineman mentality, and that's tough for a receiver. And then he said something else, and he was like, and draw your own conclusion about that. Anyways, I just think that
I think it's tough, too, because there's a lot of good receivers. But the ball is going to be
Prince
given to...
Prince didn't get the ball to him once. And I don't know about Prince. I don't know his attitude. I have no idea. But that's tough when you're like going through the off season. You work for 8 months, and I'm not trying to stir up any sort of controversy, but I'm just thinking if it was me and I was a wide receiver and I'm going to be the heir apparent, I'm 6'5", super athletic, everyone's talking about me, and I go into a game and they don't even throw me the ball once, I think that's tough.
They called plays to him.
I think that's tough. I know. I'm just saying. We'll see. It's a storyline to follow.
Can I tell you what about Dirk about being there?
Sure.
He didn't want to be there.
No.
Yeah, he never does.
He got up there and he's like, so we won. What do you want? And the guys started asking him questions. He's like, I don't know. I mean, really, he was just bugged and hot and bothered.
Well, it's Labor Day, man.
I know.
Why would he want to be there?
I just thought it was interesting. You know,
he wants to be golfing.
His offense scored 56. You know, they won the game because of the offense. Jeanty had a record day, and he was like, I don't care about you. I don't want to be here. Anyway.
Speaking of 56, and I remember last year when we started this pod, and I remember you like multiple times were like, I just want an offense that scores. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And that was like a theme. Dude, 56,
I
man.
Know it. I know it.
600.
I know it.
Half 100, finally.
I know. And when we needed them, we scored them.
Yeah.
I have a theme to talk about later, but I do think we're going to have to outscore most of our opponents this year.
Yes. Can we talk about
going
the defense?
into the next topic?
Yes. Should we have? Did we get fooled into thinking that our defense would have changed?
Which part of our defense?
Yeah, we did get fooled.
Secondary.
And I'll tell you this, okay? And we know multiple
or
media
are we going
members.
to call people out already?
No,
Mark's
I
gonna
love
name
those
drop.
guys. No, but we heard for the last month because they have all this access. Us now too, right?
Yeah,
us now too.
So you can't say it.
Well, we weren't given the access early on, so I'm not. No, but all we heard was the defense is looking great, right? We heard that multiple times. And here's my issue, and I don't like to make big grand conclusions after one game, right? But here's the issue for me, is that last year's defense had a couple of issues that presented themselves. Like these are the issues, right? We couldn't get off the field on third down.
Okay, check.
Secondary couldn't stop anybody with a pulse last year.
Still happens.
And what was the last one? Defense last year had an issue
Turnovers.
getting to the quarterback without blitzing, okay?
Same
what
problems.
happened Saturday, man? That's my issue. That's my concern, is that there were notable issues that everyone knew about it. And what were the issues in this game? We gave up 9 third downs in a row.
Right.
Okay. The secondary, new guys, new starters. McCoy's was half.
Well, Washington, McCoy.
Yeah.
Guys we've seen before,
Guys we've seen, but we got Irby, who we heard about Irby was he's a lockdown, whatever.
All
I saw from Saturday was him
calls.
grabbing guys and pulling them on the ground with his head in his hands, okay? That's what I saw from Irby. And then the other guy, Banks, wasn't a whole lot better. So we got new guys playing cornerback. We got the same dang results. We weren't running 5 yards behind them like at Washington.
Okay, that's a big deal.
So that was better, but that was that guy's first start. That quarterback. He threw for 350 yards?
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
So
it's still a problem.
It's still a problem. and it wasn't a problem at the start.
Right.
And it was almost like the momentum got away from them, especially when they scored at the end of the first, at the start of the third. And then they had that fourth that we didn't get.
And then they scored
again. It's like you needed elite defenses stop them at that drive before the end of the half.
Elite's out the window. This is not an elite defense.
And we had held them, though, and we got that roughing the passer call.
Yeah.
That bailed them out. Because if you don't have that,
we're off field.
It's like, dude, 3 and out. We got them. Our defense can hold them.
But
they scored.
The older I get, the more I watch sports stuff, the more I understand that, there are pivotal pivotal moments in games, right? Basketball, football, and there was a few, and that was
one of them.
Well,
huge
Dan-
one. And then the other one in our favor was later on when Gaines had the fumble and Bolt falls on it.
Yeah. That was a big
If
one.
that doesn't go our way, who knows?
Do you remember Dan Hawkins would always say this? The winning and losing in a game always comes down to 4 or 5 plays.
I think I remember that now,
Yeah.
but I'm seeing that
Yeah,
now
yeah.
for sure.
Always comes down to.
But
I have a question.
yeah,
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
You're allowed to.
Okay. They say that the most improvement happens between week 1 and week 2.
that's what they say.
right.
That's what I've heard.
As fans, do we think our defense can magically, and when I say our defense, our secondary, I'll put it on them, magically get better in 1 week's worth of time, more so than they did during spring and fall camp? I mean, are we stupid?
And we're going from playing Georgia Southern to
Wasn't
Dylan
it-
Gabriel, 41 for 48.
But I think there's just this hope
Heisman
that it's like now that
favorite.
we played one game, we're going to magically turn all of our
Well, can I say
secondary
this?
into magic.
Can I say this?
Receiver.
Chinander,
Yeah,
he coached Gabriel.
he did.
At UCF.
No, he didn't. He recruited him.
He recruited him.
You can go shove it, okay? For all I care.
He recruited
Basically
it.
the same thing. Well, they played again. Well, anyway. Didn't he play against them at
We played against him. We
Yeah.
played against
Okay.
Gabriel.
Well, there you go. So they got a
Yeah.
chance. Here's the thing. I didn't see any of the glaring under coverage that we had last year.
There were
I
two,
didn't
but,
see that.
but the quarterback missed them. There were
Okay.
two wide
Well,
open
I-
guys. But yeah,
So we didn't have that problem. And Chinander said, look, they can run with the guys. They can cover the guys. Right? So that makes me feel good. I don't think they said that last year. I don't know what they were saying last year, but I don't think they said that last year. So
Run to win.
Sometimes it's a comfort thing. Sometimes it's a nervous thing. They did say maybe we kept him in too long. Maybe the heat. Maybe some of that other
maybe.
stuff. And so that drive before the end of the first half could have been a fatigue thing.
yeah.
I mean, that's making excuses, right? I don't know. I mean, you have to, if you're going to beat Oregon, you have to magically get better in that area.
Yeah.
You just have to do it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'd like to think if we play Georgia Southern 10 times, we win 8 or 9 of them, and we don't give up 45
I agree.
again.
I agree.
So I think there was just some interesting things.
But our tackling wasn't bad.
tackling was fine.
There you go.
I like that. I wasn't paying close enough attention. I know we got 4 sacks, but it seemed like
we forced
we
4
had
fumbles.
to. We did. So there were some good things. There
didn't get all those
It
fumbles.
was better. I don't know if it was better. We gave up 45 points to each other, Georgia Southern. I don't know if it was better. We'll see. We're not going to learn a ton, and we'll get into Oregon here in a minute. I'm not sure how. Depends. If we get blown out by Oregon, let's say we give up 50 plus to Oregon. I don't know if that changes a whole lot for me necessarily, but we'll see. If we could somehow hold them under 30, then I'm like, oh wow, now we got something. But
Dude, one guy on defense that had me excited was Rip.
yeah,
Like early on,
Yeah.
you're like, dude, he's getting in there. He's
Yeah.
making plays.
we heard his
and
name a
then
lot. Didn't see him a lot.
didn't see him
Yeah.
later.
Well, they said that about Hassanin too. He didn't have any
Hassanin was
big plays.
no.
So who knows?
Yeah,
You'd have to
so
watch the game film if you're really.
I've thought about this, and I bounced this off your
have
guys'
you?
idea.
Here we go. Mark with a little prep work.
A lot.
He's
No,
thought
no, no.
about. He's thought about
Oh,
this.
we're doing hot take time.
Hot take time.
Oh boy,
So this is a big if though. This is not one that you're gonna give the receipt out next week, like we are to Brandon this week.
This is what our listeners are here for. Our viewers.
Exactly. If we don't win, if we do not win,
Okay.
or sorry, if we do not make the college football playoff,
Okay. Here
Okay.
we go.
I would throw out there that the one reason is going to, if we don't make it, the reason was that Spencer Danielson decided to keep DeMario Warren.
Whoa.
Okay.
Here we
Yep.
go.
He's been a problem. I'm sorry, man. I'll go ahead and say it.
Not to single anyone out.
No, I will.
Calling it.
He's a coach. He's making a lot of money. So it's his, 3rd year as a cornerbacks coach or 4th? It's been consistently bad. He's had
okay.
multiple different guys. The cornerbacks have been
How much
been
is the coaches? How much
consistently
is the guys?
bad.
The players.
Well,
He's got different players this year. There's different guys playing. He's had 3 different sets of corners. None of them. I mean, it's a problem. I mean,
where are the Dante Dion's, Darian Thompsons, Kyle Wilsons, Orlando
I'm just saying,
Scandricks?
if
where
we,
are they?
So we'll get into Oregon. We might, yeah, they're not here. I don't think they're here, first of all, but we're probably going to lose to Oregon. Well, let's get into that. But if we don't get, that's not going to keep us out of the playoff. In my opinion, losing to Oregon, unless we lose by 50, it's going to be that we lose a game or two that we shouldn't lose. And in my opinion, looking at the team, that will be because we give up, 350 yards through the air. Jeanty isn't Superman, and we lose because we give up a bunch of. That's going to be the reason. Who knows? But that's the glaring weakness that was last year. And I wouldn't make a big thing if it wasn't almost the exact same thing. So I hate to say it. I'm not saying to fire. No, I'm not.
Mark?
I'm just saying that Spencer Danielson, over the offseason, he took the special teams coordinator job away from him, right? And if they don't get better, I think it's easy to say, if they don't get better, he will not be back here next year. We'll put it that way.
That coach.
So
mark it down. I don't want that to happen. But if we lose
25-minute mark.
If we lose games other than Oregon, it's going to be because the corners.
So we're not currently DBU, is what you'd say.
Not DBU coach.
No, we're RBU.
RBU. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't have anything against him. I don't know him, but it's just like it's been consistently bad since he's been
Glaring
here.
weakness that we've had.
It has. Am I wrong in saying
No,
that?
you're not wrong.
No.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, and after watching the game, I just felt like, man, why did I think things were going to be hope, I guess, blind hope, but why did I think things were going to be different in the passing game with defense?
Well, we heard the media for a month say that we got lockdown corners.
Yeah,
and not to blame them, but
they've got
that's what we heard.
experience. We've got a couple new guys there, but the guys that are there, maybe they were banged up, but they're back in. So you think like, hey, we got some experience, but
It's time for them to step up.
show up in Oregon.
Yeah.
I thought the defense did start fast though. I thought they did a good job for the first, quarter and a half.
Yep. They did. And so hopefully they can tap into that. And
Couple surprises. Sire Gaines.
Awesome,
Dude.
man.
So, yeah.
the next guy.
So Breezy's been banged up
Yes.
and hasn't been able to
Did
practice.
they not say that until
They
just recently?
They couldn't really say it, but media like BJ hinted at it, and then they kind of mentioned it at the presser today.
Yeah.
But they're like,
He said it at the presser day. He's been injured.
he's been banged up, and so that's tough. It's awesome for Sire Gaines, 17-year-old kid, quietly goes for 100 yards.
Yeah. That was his quiet 100 yard.
Yeah.
game.
Overshadowed by Jeanty.
Yeah.
I think if you're Breezy, you're in trouble. It's like an injury could make you lose your spot.
Yeah, Danielson's like, this is a very competitive, second spot.
Yeah.
RB2. And so if you're not ready to compete, this isn't the place for you. So I think Breezy has, and Cutter said he's very close to being ready. So I think we'll see more of that.
We'll need him. I mean, you're not going to get through the year with your top two running backs without getting dinged up, right? So you're going to need Breezy. You might need, other guys too.
Get some T. Crow in there.
Did he
play?
I didn't see him.
It's so funny what we kind of hear and listen to from the media and the coaches, and I didn't see T. Crow
As a
once.
fullback or anything?
I didn't see him. I'm sure he got some snaps. I didn't see it. You want to talk about a surprise?
The kick return?
Please.
Oh,
if
Mark,
you would,
put this in.
okay. What I got it down here. Caden Shan.
Yeah.
Who? Centennial High School.
Really?
Oh.
He's he was at some community college.
Okay.
And transferred in. And it's like all we heard was like, oh, they're talking about Jeanty and Caples and so and all these like skill guys. We're talking about we got 8 wide receivers. We can't get the ball to them. Yet we find some local dude to go back there, catch a ball and fall down, and then fair catch. That was it. Like under wraps, man. That one was under wraps.
Yeah.
That was a surprise.
That was a surprise.
And I'm not going to bash on, but he didn't do anything.
Well, one person did comment. We still don't have any return.
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't have
No
like
return
any
game.
return.
That was
on
the other issue from last year too. Was the return game. We
Well,
gave
we're
up
hoping
1 to the
Stacy-
50.
Yeah.
Which led to a score for them. And then we just didn't have any returns,
Yeah.
I don't know why we decided we were catching fair catches at like the 5-10 yard line. Odd, because you kind of expected, listening to the coaches, that it was going to be aggressive and whatnot, and that one game in, I'm not going to make a big pronouncement on that, but it certainly was not any. It didn't kill us, but it certainly didn't give us anything either.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I guess we'll see who takes kicks in the future.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't Caples or wasn't anybody on the
with
receiving
scholarship. I don't know. Whatever.
That's one of the things that, and I know it's difficult to capture to make happen. But the flair that Boise State has always had, we talk about trick plays. I talk about how I was a little bit jealous of Idaho. They scored on 2 trick plays. And it's like when you're the little engine that could, you have to rely on those things, right? Those things work.
Are we back there?
We are this weekend. We are
wish
there this weekend.
Those things just make it so much more fun for me.
when you're hitting.
Well, yeah, when you're hitting on them, but we didn't need to try them this game. I'm not saying that we needed a trick play. But just last year, I mean, did we really, except for the Mountain West Championship game?
Yeah.
We pulled some out then, and that was really fun. We're like, this is old school Boise State.
Yes.
Yeah. But we look at it now, and like, will we see more of that? I don't know.
Do you think we, as a coaching staff or a school, we're too good for that now? We've arrived. We shouldn't do that.
But you think about the trick plays. You think about Austin Pettis blocking punts.
Yeah.
You think about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we don't see that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Put Bolt in.
I mean,
Yeah, Strawn, he's tall. Have him block a punt.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are the little engine that could this weekend.
Yeah.
So let's get into that.
The line opens up at what?
20.
We're a 20-point dog.
Yeah,
And
but that's going
I
to
asked-
adjust, isn't it? Don't you think that will adjust?
I imagine it'll come down a point or two, but I asked on Twitter and I can't.
You reached
maybe
out
it
to
was
Jay
Dayton.
Tust.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if I got
And
the
he
response
said-
from Jay.
I thought Dayton did. I thought
Someone responded, but I think it was South Carolina in 2001.
Yeah.
was the last time.
23 years ago.
Wow.
Well, we should have been 20-point dogs last year at Washington.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
we should
but
have been.
going in, knowing
Yeah.
what we knew, but just going into it, this would be. I don't think. I still like just looking on Facebook. Speaking of delusions, go on Facebook and read people like Boise State fan sites on Facebook. Like we're gonna win, baby.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Well, what else are they gonna say?
But yeah, no, it's true. But I'm winning at Oregon this year would be so much more of an upset than any of the 3
Right.
before.
I agree.
I mean, and that has to do with a lot of factors. But
Any
we're
of the 3
catching them
before,
on our.
like who?
What was that?
You said any of the 3.
That we've beaten
Yeah.
them 3 times.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The
And
previous Oregon.
Yeah,
Right.
that's previous Oregon games because I think we were better and they weren't top 5. Now, granted, are they really a top 5 team? They obviously weren't last week. They struggled with Idaho a little bit, but I don't think that changes anything for me as far as their ability, their talent level, their coaching staff, their NIL salary cap or whatever they've got over there. So that doesn't change anything for me at all. This would be the biggest upset since what? It would be a bigger upset than beating
Fresno?
Oklahoma. Maybe the Fresno game, but that we were probably dogs by 6 or 7 points, maybe 10.
Ooh.
Dude, we haven't.
On
It
Fresno.
would be interesting. Have we ever won since we've gone Division I as a 20-point underdog?
Where's
We've
our
probably
guy?
only been.
No.
Where's our
We've
guy in the
probably only
chair?
been a 20-point
we didn't
underdog
win that
once
South
or
Carolina
twice, 3
game in
times.
2001.
South Carolina, maybe. I remember Washington
UCLA.
State killed us really early
Yeah.
on when we were Division I, like in 99 or 98, something like that. We've probably only been 20-point underdogs 5 or less times.
Okay.
And I'm sure we didn't win any of them. So this would be our biggest upset statistically since becoming Division I. Let's just throw that out there so we all understand. This is not, this would be a huge upset.
It would be interesting to see how we do right now if we were to win out and go to the playoff, playing a top 10 team.
You
let's
mean like
say-
if we were to win this game?
No, if
coming
we
up,
were to
or-
lose, however
Okay.
we do this game,
Sure.
and then let's say we went out, they went out, we all go to the playoffs.
Sure.
We're all a happy family. To see how we do against a top 10 team, it's an interesting thing to me because, you never know how you're going to do in the playoffs. You don't want to get run out of the field, right? So if we just get run off the field in Oregon and then we make the playoff, like, man, we better. Hopefully we're a lot better team by then.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a storyline I'm interested to see. I mean, if we're going to make the playoff, we're going to play a top 10 team.
Yes. And we should.
Top 5
And that's
team.
what it is. That's
Yeah,
the
and you
playoffs.
want to
That's
be
what you want.
somewhat competitive.
Oh, of course.
So
you don't want to get there and get embarrassed, but the goal is to get there for sure.
Anyway, this could be a
litmus test.
I guess.
Yeah, I just think that and I know we alluded to this before, but I've never, and I thought about this, but I honestly, like, even last year's UW team, of course, we didn't know how good they were. I've never gone into a game saying, oh, if we only lose by 18, I'll be okay with that. Never. I honestly feel that way. Can you believe that? I honestly feel if we lose by 2 touchdowns, I'll be like, nice. That's not bad.
What did you think last year?
Why do I
against
feel
Washington?
No, well, it was the first game,
We didn't
remember?
know.
We didn't know Washington was that good. We didn't know we were
that
as bad as we were. So I didn't feel that way. I didn't think we would win. I didn't think we'd win at Washington, but I thought we had a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance.
I thought we had. There's always a chance. There's always a chance because it's college football, and every week someone blows or beats someone that shouldn't, right? But I've never felt so helpless or so hopeless in a game.
Okay, let me
in my adult fandom.
Let me still
I kid you not.
Okay, what does Oregon give you this year that tells you they're going to beat us by 100?
I didn't say 100.
Okay, I'm just saying what have they proven this year?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you want me to say something they proved on Saturday against Idaho, I don't have anything to show you. I'm just saying that Kirk Herbstreit, half of ESPN's picking them to win the championship.
I know.
They're a top 5 team. They have Dan Lanning. They've got Dylan Gabriel, who's the favorite for the Heisman. We talk about Ashton Jeanty. Dylan Gabriel's actually the betting hands-on favorite, or the odds-on favorite, sorry. They've bought a lot of great players. So have they put it all together? Are they a great team? It's on paper they're a great team. You're right.
Okay.
They didn't show it on Saturday. Maybe we can expose that. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they weren't working on the offseason like we were. I mean, there's obviously, you can find like some hope, I guess. Like, hey, we've been working towards this. We have Jeanty. We have all these things. I'm just saying, like, I've never felt so hopeless for a game to actually win a game than I do this week. And I'm sorry I feel that way. I hate it, but I do.
Hopeless Moss over here.
Well, it's true. I'm just okay. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Like, yeah, we're gonna win. I don't think we're gonna win. I mean, and then just our secondary play.
Mark's gonna be at the end of the bar on Saturday night.
No, I'm not.
Crying.
I'm setting myself up because now I'm gonna just be like,
I actually don't mind that strategy. That's actually a strategy.
I'm hedging my emotional.
You've got to think though. Oregon is ready to go to get one win against us.
Oh yeah,
that
and
hangs
they're
over
gonna be
their
fired
heads.
up. They're gonna be fired up for this game.
That place is gonna be loud.
Yeah. I'm not overly worried about those things. I don't think it'll be too big for us. I just think we don't have the skill or the coaching or the technique or whatever in the secondary to deal with Dylan Gabriel and those receivers and that speed or whatever. I can see it getting out of hand. I really can, man. Now, thankfully, here's the flip side. We got Dirk Cutter. We got Ashton Jeanty. And I do trust that I think we're going to put up points. I really do.
Yeah.
I think expecting Jeanty to run for 150 plus is tough because I don't know if you guys saw that our starting center came out of the locker room with a sling on.
Oh, shoot.
Not good, right? Not good.
Well, I do. That's what I do like about our offense. If they start bottling up Jeanty, you pop it off to Lauder, you pop it off to Bolt, whoever, Marshall, all the guys, Campers.
I have some hope that our offense will do okay, but
the worry isn't so much for the offense.
No, I just think that
are we getting bombs thrown over our heads?
Yeah, big time. Until they prove it again. I mean, UCLA. The last 2 games we've had were just bad.
Can I tell you an area of improvement that
please
Boise State needs to fix?
Needs to improve.
Yes, that I believe we've been struggling with for the past 10 plus years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Second quarter and third quarter.
Okay.
Specifically the third quarter. We don't show well. I would say on average, year over year, you can check that out.
You ready for that?
I'm ready.
You know someone's going to check that.
Check.
Dayton?
Check me. Dayton?
Get the receipts.
Yeah.
Check
Jake?
him.
Jensen? Check me. I know we've talked about this in the past. Certainly this game. I mean, we
no doubt.
The second, we start fast and then we have to figure it out a way to finish it in the end, right? Like fourth quarter and the third quarter. But the third quarter specifically, we've done very, 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 very poorly. And you can't do that. Like if we're going to beat Oregon, you have to be 4 quarters
no doubt.
Super consistent.
We only scored 8 points in the third quarter.
Okay.
So the other 2, 1 and 2, we scored 14 points each. Fourth quarter, we scored 20.
Do we win that game if Andy Avalos and Bush Hamden are in charge of our offense and our team? Because that was the type of game that last year we lost, right?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't want to revisit that.
Okay, good point.
Hey, speaking
so
of that,
that's improvement, though. I feel better about we got into a dogfight. You said there wasn't earlier. You kind of said, it wasn't. We were down in the fourth quarter early. So
in the third quarter.
Into the fourth.
Yeah,
30-28. Into the fourth. So, and we found a way to win. And I'm not sure we would have last year. Seriously, I'm not
probably
sure we
right.
would have.
You're probably
so there's
right.
improvement there.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Happy about that.
I do want to talk about the other storylines
Yeah.
from non-BSU players.
Okay.
EMAC,
Former.
former BSU players.
EMAC, yeah.
The TCU game.
I think this will be fascinating to watch.
Were you rooting for TCU?
I didn't care.
I don't have a
Either
problem
way.
with TCU. I'm rooting
Yeah.
for Avalos. I know I just bagged on.
He sucks. Who even won?
He was a bad head coach. I think it's established. He was in over his. I don't know. As a person, as a player, as an ex-player, and as a coach that coached here for a lot of years and put a lot of time, sweat, tear, whatever. I'm rooting for Avalos. I am.
Okay.
I truly am rooting for Avalos and TG.
Who do you root against? Is there any person in college football that you root against?
Former Boise State?
No,
Or just anybody?
Oregon, and this has nothing to do with us playing next week. I don't like Oregon.
Really?
I dislike Oregon significantly.
Why? Just
I think it's probably
Jealousy?
Yeah, it's probably the whole like we got Uncle Phil, we've got all the money in the world, we've got all the advantage in the world, we've got everything, we got the flashy, this, that, and the other.
you sound like an Oregon State fan.
I sound like a liberal. I know. I tax the rich, man. But I don't like. I don't like Oregon.
Okay.
I don't like Oregon.
Well, it was interesting to watch the TCU game because I didn't see EMAC play. I didn't
Did
check.
he get snaps?
I don't
Is
know.
he hurt?
I didn't see him out there.
I went through his depth chart. He was listed
Number
as an
2.
or. Yeah, it was like
An
a
or,
second.
yeah.
It was like an or.
Yeah.
He didn't get any catches.
Homie was supposed to be like making a bunch of money on NIL and going to the NFL.
Maybe.
Did that even happen?
I don't know about the
Yet to
NIL,
be
but
determined.
he's from there. But we're going to talk about TG too. So what I'm about to say, you can flip it and do the exact opposite. But if things don't pan out for him, he is
For
going
EMAC?
to be EMAC. He's going to be example number 1 at the end of the season when Boise State to Simpson or some of these guys that have another year that are going to have big time schools coming and offering them money, right? That's going to happen after this year, during this year probably. He's going to be example number 1. And I'll tell you why. EMAC was on the NFL trajectory here. He had the size, he had the speed, he had the hands. He was following and the stats. He was getting a ton of production. He was, it sounded like he had kind of a tough upbringing, right? From what we understand. He gets up here. He's getting his life together. He was an all-league. He was going to be all first-team Mountain West, right? He was on the NFL trajectory. We've put a lot of NFL wide receivers into the NFL. He was on that trajectory.
Can you name
Agreed?
2 right now?
Cedric
Austin
Wilson?
Pettis,
Khalil
Cedric
Shakir?
No.
Wilson.
Currently playing.
Khalil Shakir.
Khalil Shakir.
Is
Is
Hightower playing?
Hightower still playing?
Ooh, that's
I
a
don't
good
think
question.
so.
He's been bouncing around, but I mean, hey, you get into a practice squad; those guys make $12,000 a week, 12 to 16 grand a week on a practice squad.
Sounds like physical
That's
therapy money
awesome.
right there, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, but he was there. He was on that trajectory, and then he quits the team, whatever. And now I hope it works out for him, but he's buried at TCU. He's buried, and now he goes back to Texas. I don't want to suggest. I don't know anything about this, but like. You wonder, does he go back to some of those situations that you know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
different. You don't know.
Now we're
I don't
going
want to,
deep.
but you don't know. I'm just saying that, like, you feel.
Okay.
I hope he made the right decision for himself.
So then you flip that and you got TG10.
Totally different story, though. I will say, because TG10 got screwed here.
Yeah.
Why did
way-
he get screwed? I don't agree with that.
How do you
I
not
don't
agree
think-
with that? Either, okay, you bench him or you play him. We don't have to go, but no one agrees that was a good philosophy last year.
But he put himself into the
he-
position that he was at.
True.
Like, why did everybody was saying, put him in? You're ruining it.
Okay.
We were losing the games when he was playing. He couldn't hit a receiver.
We'll see how he does this year.
He did great.
Well,
Again,
they
he
played
did great.
nobody. They played nobody. But he looked
true.
great.
He did
looked
great.
like the TG, it's like,
Yeah.
that's the guy.
And the thing is,
But,
he played like he did in the Mountain West Championship game. He was a world beater.
That was awesome.
It was incredible.
Yeah, I hope he has success there. If he has success, it's because Bobby Petrino designs the offense around his strengths.
Yeah.
And I still think that wasn't necessarily what, for whatever reason, happened last year
Right.
here.
Yeah. It'll be good to see a true test for him.
But it
that was
will
not
be.
a test.
But I'm rooting for TG.
Totally.
Sure.
Because he was
I
a good
agree.
kid. He never said
What-
anything negative about
100%.
anything, and I'm rooting for him big
What
time.
about Hurricane Hank? At Wake
Hurricane Hank,
Forest?
baby?
Hurricane ain't still
He's
playing.
still around.
Dude, who was
He
that
looked good
one
too.
guy? Did you see that thing?
Number
There's
9?
A guy, no.
No, it's nine years in.
I thought it was 8.
No, he's
Is
on
it
his
nine?
ninth.
Ninth
The
year.
kid at Miami.
Yeah.
He was
Yes.
a Boise State commit at one point. Ended up going to Oregon. McCaskill or McCormick.
when we were in high school, did he commit?
He was a
when did
commit
he
under
commit?
Coach Pete.
2014.
9 years. He's in his
dude.
9th year. He has his master's already, so I don't know what he's working on in Miami. I have no
Doctorate,
idea.
Yeah, I guess.
Is he?
PhD, baby.
Oh,
9
man.
years is a long
you know how many-
time, dude.
Back to that though.
Wait,
Like
back to
your
what?
former players, like teammates, have like kids now.
You know,
Yeah.
do you remember when was it Jameis Winston and who was the guy at BYU?
Oh yeah. Was it no, not Mangum?
Yeah, Mangum.
Was it Mangum?
No. Yeah,
Did
it was
Did he
Mangum.
go on a mission? Yeah.
Yeah, Mangum went on a mission.
Yeah,
So he
okay.
played at Eagle High,
Yeah.
went on a mission.
They were in the same
They were
Elite
in the
11.
same Elite 11. And Jameis was like in the NFL doing stuff, and Mangum was a sophomore. Like,
Yeah.
It's a sophomore. Anyway, those types of comparisons are crazy.
Do you know how many ex-starting Boise State quarterbacks played this weekend?
Oh, 3. No.
4.
Hold on. I'm going to name.
'Kay.
X starting.
Sorry.
Or just-
ex Boise State quarterbacks that
Ex?
started this past weekend.
So you're not. So does
They
Mad
didn't
Dog?
start at Boise State.
Does
They did
Mad
not-
Dog
No, it
count?
doesn't count. No.
Okay,
For
let me do
other
this.
teams.
I mean, TJ10,
Okay.
Can you name them?
Hurricane Hank,
Okay. Who else you got?
that are playing
and
elsewhere.
started.
Okay, CJ,
No.
Utah
No,
State.
he's sitting.
Tiller? Hold on.
that are currently playing.
Yeah,
This is
these
freaking
are- these are
wild,
at the
dude.
FCS
I don't
level.
know. Okay, then I don't know their names.
FCS.
These are backups.
Oh, actually, one of them. No, they all started this past weekend.
no, but backups at BSU.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Caden Bennett started for Sacramento State.
Okay,
Played well. Guess they beat Stanford last year. They lost to them this year. And Sam Bidlack
Vidlac.
for Sam Houston State. I think that's actually a Division I now. I think that's FBS. He was 8 for 8 for like 300 yards.
Good.
I think
Wow.
something like 70
8?
to nothing.
8
job, Sam.
for 8.
Yeah.
300
Anyways, so
yards.
we have a lot. Man,
I
the
think that's a
quarterback, that's
constant.
common.
Yeah.
I don't think that's just Boise
Why
State, but it is
can't?
interesting.
Here's a question: why can't Oregon develop a quarterback?
Oregon. You mean why they've gone after the transfers?
Every year they have a transfer guy come in and just basically undercut the guys that they've been developing every single year.
I don't know if it's that they can't develop them. I just think it's back to what I don't like about them. I think they can go out and pay for the best quarterback available, and that's better than what they have been
See,
developing.
to me, that's interesting because there's so many guys that you go out that are the top high school prospect or the top X, the top Y, whatever that is, and then you bring them in the program and you say, hey, we're going to get rid of, why can't I think of the guy that was there last year?
Bo Nix?
Yeah, Bo Nix. Bo Nix comes in, takes over from a guy that was probably working his, whatever off for years and years. And then Bo Nix comes in. And then if you're a sophomore, you're like, okay, Bo Nix is done. It's my time.
Yeah.
Nope.
They didn't. Not
Nope,
only did they bring in
we're gonna do
Dylan
that.
Gabriel, they also brought in Dante Moore from
Do they-
UCLA, who was a 5-star.
Do they recruit high school quarterbacks?
I wouldn't be
Probably
interested in
not.
going there if I was a
Yeah,
high school
why would
quarterback.
you?
Why would you go?
Yeah.
They're just going to go pay for someone that's already established. And that's what the biggest, best teams are doing
Yeah.
now. And that's what Clemson, if you want to talk more college football, is not doing.
So Dabo, that is an interesting thing. Do you remember when Coach K in basketball, he wouldn't do one and dones, and then everybody was kicking their ass. when
But
they
then,
do-
but then he changed.
switched it.
Yeah.
He had to
Dabo-
embrace the
Gotta adapt.
times.
There's 4 teams that did not get a transfer. Do you know who they are?
Transfer quarterback?
Yes. No, transfer player
at
from the
all.
portal last year.
Clemson?
Clemson. Who are the other 3?
Vanderbilt, I don't know.
Air Force, Navy, and Army.
Oh.
And Clemson. Yes. Yeah.
Clemson's a division of the military, right?
Dabo's
Dabo-
holding on, man.
It's-
He's
it's
loyalty.
not- he's loyal to his guys. That sounds
Loyalty.
great,
Loyal
but
to a fault.
yes, then you're just getting your teeth pounded in.
See-
Because you miss on a guy. So these elite teams, Oregon, Georgia,
You can't afford to miss.
Alabama, they can miss.
They can't afford to
When
miss.
they miss, no, when they miss on a high school kid, they just get a transfer from another school. That's what they do. And Dabo can't afford to miss because he, to this point, is saying, I want to recruit my guys. And it's altruistic, but it's not working in today's, it's not working. He's going to have to
Deshaun
change or he's
Watson
going to be gone.
back.
Huh?
He needs Deshaun Watson to come
Yeah,
back.
Deshaun. He's a massage
play
guy?
at Clemson?
Is that Deshaun?
Did he play at Clemson?
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's Trevor Lawrence. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What were we
so-
talking about? Oh, transfers. What other storylines were there on transfers? It was EMAC, Avalos, and TG10.
I think
That was
those are the
it.
big ones. Yeah, we really didn't lose a lot of guys this past year. Credit to Spencer, right? And what we got going on. But
Can I show you a stat I saw on Twitter?
see it.
Should I text this to you, Matt?
Yeah, do it. And if you're watching us, like, subscribe.
And if anyone
your
has
friends.
any word on Caden Chan, I would love to know, like, what's this guy's story? We hadn't heard one. He's the returner. He's our starting returner, number 27 from Centennial High.
At Caden Chan.
Yeah, let's figure out who this guy is. I mean, he's obviously good enough to be the starter week 1. So I didn't mean it like that. It was just surprising that he was back there.
Yeah. Here's a probability listing for BSU for the remainder of the year.
Like a distribution. Statistical.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but it's slanted. It's not equally distributed.
This is the probability of our end record.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
So it starts 12-0, 11-1, 10-2, 9-3, and so forth and so on.
Okay.
So it gives a probability of each.
So, Brandon, what's the likelihood we go 12-0?
Do you want to guess or should I just tell you? It's less than 1%.
Okay, there you go.
That's
That makes sense. Yeah.
What record do you think we're most likely to have?
9-3 or 10-2.
10-2.
Just kind of 10-2.
10-2. Which is, I believe, what we said,
what
right?
you're supposed to drive
we all
at,
said.
10-2?
10-2.
That makes sense. Yeah, we're gonna lose to Oregon.
There's a 32% chance we're going to go 10-2. There's a 15% chance we're going 11-1.
Yeah. Where do these numbers come from?
I have no idea.
After what?
I have no
what are
idea.
the chances?
But this was posted on Twitter, so it's got to be
It's
true.
gotta
That'll be true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was interesting to think about, just because 11. I thought the probability of being 11-1 would be higher.
Yeah, but if you think about winning games, and that's the other thing, we should go back to this, and I forget, and we as fans, whatever, we can get worked up about, our secondary sucks again, and we gave up 45 points, but it's hard to win games. It is. It really
On the
is.
road.
And we made it so easy for so long. We got spoiled. We know that. We acknowledge that. I think that the Mountain West we didn't have a ton of big wins. It seems to be better. Our bottom
wanna talk
seems
about
to
Mountain
be a
West.
little bit better. Now let's look at UNLV. I don't know how. The thing about week 1 is you don't know. Like Georgia Southern could win the Sun Belt. They could
Time
go
out.
10-2.
Can you bring up the Mountain West record so we can go over it before?
Yeah.
Anyway, keep
But
going.
I'm just saying, like, we don't know. Georgia Southern might be great this year, and they might score 40 a game and be like, "Holy crap, we did pretty good against them," right? So we don't know. But UNLV goes on the road and beats Houston 27-7.
Houston looked bad. They looked so bad.
It's a Big 12 school, right? So that's a good win.
That's a great one.
I mean, maybe,
Any Power Fours.
Yeah, any Power Four. Any of them are good. We'll take any of them.
So shout out to the commenter on one of our videos that said we don't know anything about UNLV. They're really good.
Well,
Shout out to
they're
them.
backing it up, right?
Yeah.
They were good last year. I think they need to prove it. It's a good way to start,
And they
right?
did, yeah.
I mean, Nevada almost beat SMU. Then they go to Troy, which is like a similar game to Georgia Southern, I would think. And they go and they beat Troy. They have Georgia Southern in Reno this week.
Wyoming,
do they really?
Wyoming did not look good, and Colorado State looked atrociously bad. I saw someone. So their quarterback, I can't remember his name.
Colorado State's?
Yeah, he made a big deal about the coach and him that he was offered $600,000.
Jay Norvell.
Yeah. And someone was like, you got offered, you turned down $600,000 to stay and go like 7 for 25 for 62 yards. And he looked bad. They looked bad.
What was the Mountain West scores in games? Do you have that up?
Games.
Well, anyway, Wyoming played Texas and got.
No, Colorado State played Texas. Wyoming played
Colorado
Arizona
State played Texas.
who wasn't good
I
last
just had
year.
their record pulled up.
Those ones weren't good, but Fresno hung with Michigan.
Yes, they did.
Into the fourth quarter.
Yes, they did.
Air Force beat a nobody.
Yeah.
There was UNLV had a big win. I just think Reno is going to be better than we thought they would.
right.
New Mexico looked good. They were in the game with Arizona for 3 quarters and then kind of lost at the end. They're not going to be horrible is what I'm getting at. So I think the Mountain West, there's not many just gimmies like there used to be. In the Pete era, there were gimmies. Like 8 gimmies
in
a
the
year.
WAC?
Yeah.
What
There's
do you
no
wanna know?
more.
All
8
of them. Go
gimmies.
roll through all of them.
Yeah,
Combined?
so New Mexico got whooped by Arizona, 61-39.
It was close, though.
61-39.
closer.
It was close.
It was tied.
It was tied. Like
21-21.
Yeah,
early on.
into the third quarter it was a game, but
Arizona State killed Wyoming 48-7. Utah State beat Robert Morris.
Way to go.
San Diego State beat Texas A&M.
Commerce or something like that. Commerce, I think. Some nobody. Hard to.
Hawaii lost to UCLA.
They were up 13
That was
to
interesting
nothing.
because that was at Hawaii, right?
Yeah, they were up 13 to nothing and lost 16 to 13.
16 to 13.
Michigan beat Fresno State 30-10.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough play. You're just not.
Yeah,
you're
you're gonna win that game, but I don't know. I guess when you spell it out like that, it's not like we're world beaters. But I just think that the bottom 3 or 4 teams
San Jose
haven't been horrible.
play? Did San
They
Jose
played
State play?
played week 0, and beat. Somebody.
I wasn't too impressed by it, but I don't know.
Not impressed. I'm just saying that we started talking about this because you're saying 11-1.
Yeah.
The probability. It's just hard. We're playing at UNLV. We're playing at Hawaii. I mean, we got Oregon State and Washington State both at home though. It's just hard. It's hard to win games. So ultimately we need to celebrate the win.
Sac State on Thursday.
That's right.
Do you have their upcoming? Is there any good games for the Mountain West this week? Week 2.
Well,
Someone's playing USC.
Where's our guy in the
State,
chair?
Utah State. Yeah, we need the guy in the chair.
Freaking
dude, you
Matt.
gotta tell me to come prepared with this stuff.
Utah State is playing at USC, so that's gonna be tough.
USC beat LSU.
Yes,
Brian
USC
Kelly.
looked good.
Did you hear that?
What a tool, dude! What a tool that guy. He is the master of throwing his team under the bus. He's always
Okay,
done
you
that.
ready for
that's
this?
true. What do you got?
UNLV. Oh no, this is not right.
Okay.
This is week 2 for.
Yeah, who is
2023.
UNLV playing? That'll be interesting. I'm interested to see. I don't know. I enjoy watching the Mountain West.
All right,
now.
here we go. September 7th, 2024. We got Utah Tech at UNLV. Idaho is playing Wyoming. San Jose State at Air Force. Northern Colorado at Colorado State. Georgia Southern is at Nevada. That'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
We're playing Oregon. Sac State is playing at Fresno State. Oregon State is at San Diego State.
That'll be interesting
And
too.
Utah State is at number 23 USC.
Do you that'll be an interesting week.
Yeah.
I don't expect
They won't be number 23
much.
coming another day.
To me, I haven't thought about the University of Idaho in years.
Yeah, I don't.
I haven't.
Did you watch some of the
I
Oregon
did.
game?
I
Me
watched
too.
the game. And kudos to them. Like honestly,
Were you
kudos to them.
secretly rooting for the underdog in
No,
that game?
I'm rooting
here's
for
what I
Idaho.
did.
I was.
Oh yeah, to win?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't want. For us to get blown out and then everybody to say, I'm just saying
yeah.
it. We're
No,
all
I
know it.
agree.
We all know
Prater
it.
already started it.
Exactly. So I don't want that.
I don't care.
So-
It's going to happen. I think.
if we get blown out, that will be a narrative. It for
Yeah.
sure will be a narrative.
Well, here's
And
another one.
That's trash.
Dude,
Here's
I-
another one.
Go ahead.
Idaho beats Wyoming. And now we're like, wait, are they better than us?
They're not better
We
than
haven't
us.
played Wyoming.
Not this year.
We don't play well. We don't.
We haven't played them yet.
in
You
the
know
late-
what? I was
yeah.
listening to who was that? Stuart Mandel, some national college football guys talking, and they were giving props to Idaho, and basically they were just giving props to Coach Eck, and they said Coach Eck will be a Power 4 coach soon.
You know who
Power
couldn't do
4,
that?
not Group of 5, Power 4.
You know who couldn't do
I was
that?
like, wow.
Petrino.
Yeah, well, that's not Bobby Petrino. That was Bobby Petrino's
Correct.
brother.
His brother.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
couldn't. He just always.
They
kinda-
were, yeah.
I mean, he was there during the transition down, and so he had
That's
to
tough.
navigate those waters, and that was tough. But he just never really figured it out.
Yeah.
But it's a little much to say. Well, I guess they did well last year, and they lost
They
a bunch
did.
of players.
And now?
but it's a little much to say. Oh, he lost to Oregon by 10. Go beat LSU. Or
I
go-
thought so too, but I don't know where he was before, South Dakota State or somewhere. They were maybe it was Bruce Feldman. One of those guys, Feldman or Stuart Mandel, knew him. You know, and said
He's a good coach.
he's an upcoming coach. He's a great, So he has to be to do what he's doing in Moscow.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good from where they were.
He was at South Dakota State before Idaho.
Okay,
Jonathan
So-
Smith, Oregon State. He won at Michigan State.
barely.
They won.
Michigan
16
State's
to
not
10,
good.
so-
Michigan State's not good. I'm
No.
sorry.
Well, it takes a while to get it up and going and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
kind of cool to see that. But
Hey,
Milk Tucker,
Tuck
phone
coming.
calls.
I got a question. Did you guys?
Yeah.
This is college football. Did you watch the Connor Stallions?
yes, I did.
I'm almost through. I don't know how I fell asleep. I was watching
Yes, I
super
did.
late.
Yes.
That was super fascinating.
It's super fascinating.
What do you think's fascinating about it? My
For
wife
me-
and I both watched it.
For me, what's fascinating, because I will watch football games and look at the sideline and see 3 people
Right.
giving signs.
Right?
I want to know who's the dude that's the fake
live?
one. Who's
Okay.
the live guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, just basically what he was studying. I look at that and say, I want to know what it means. So that's what I
didn't-
found.
I
'Cause
didn't
he's like
think that.
cracking the codes.
I didn't think that. I thought it was.
Well, you're wrong.
Well, I think that's an interesting perspective to have. I didn't. Well, let's see. We had a guy in high school also doing the same thing. You know,
Was he good at it?
He would say, "Oh, they're going to pass. They're going to run. They're going to pass or run." The interesting thing is to me, well, number one, that shouldn't be an issue now
Shouldn't be.
because they're calling in the plays into the headset.
Will they go back to regular signals
Well,
if the
Dirk-
headset goes down?
Dirk
Yes,
said today,
yes.
he's like, you have to have both.
Yes.
And one of the questions I wanted to ask was based on that film to say,
I wanted to ask about that
do
film.
you save any time in your weekly prep? Does it make it easier for you guys to not have to worry about the sign stealing thing?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's true, but he just said they have to work on it anyway. They have to do it all in case the headsets go out. So you have to have all of those, which is interesting. I don't understand. So one thing I think about is Mark Rober, the YouTube guy. He does a video on sign stealing
Yeah.
where he created an app where it's like the guy touches the nose, and then you put in all the signals that the person does, and then you put the result of the play.
Okay.
And it's run, pass, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then within like 12 plays, you're calling the signs, and it'll tell you what
You
they're
have
going
to
do.
know which one's the correct sign stealer, though.
Correct. If you find
Yeah.
the live guy, that's
Yeah.
fine, right? And so if
But
you
that
do
only
have,
takes a little bit.
but certainly by the second quarter, but then once you know it's a pass, you got to still cover it.
Yeah,
right?
but
And
it's still
Michigan
an
won.
advantage. There's no way that there's not an advantage. And now let's be clear. You can steal signs. You just can't do the whole like go to opposing
Go to Central Michigan. And,
Yeah.
with the spy glasses
Yeah.
and record it.
Why?
But
Here's my thing: is why did he need to do that?
because that's what he loved to do.
He-
I don't know that he
but-
needed to.
if
But
you
why-
haven't, first of all, if you haven't watched it, watch it.
Okay.
It's super interesting.
I do have a few
Untold.
questions. Is any other college doing that?
Probably not
well-
now, but
well,
No, at the time it was
no,
happening.
he said 80 to 90% of the schools doing it.
You're stupid to think nobody else is doing it.
Exactly.
Ohio
No,
State,
they're all
Alabama.
Yes.
stealing signs.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
just
I bet you they were doing the same thing that Connor Stalions
Yeah.
was. And then it's, in my opinion, conspiracy theory Brandon over here.
Ohio
that-
State turned him in.
Exactly,
Yeah.
dude. That they just had a
Yeah.
bone to pick, and they were
100%.
winning too much. And Harbaugh's an easy target. Go after him. So that's. And my wife was yelling at that the whole time. It's like, this is fine. Everything they're doing is fine. In my opinion, I thought I didn't understand why it was so overblown because there's an immense amount of cheating going on in the SEC.
Oh yeah.
Every
Oh yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Okay, we
Yeah.
all just
Yeah.
and so
Accept it.
accept it,
Yeah,
right?
outside of the SEC.
And
Yeah.
the fact that we just go after Michigan when they're winning like they were, I thought it was stupid.
You want
man.
to know what was? Well, you just have to watch the show if you haven't seen it. But the fact that he fell on this, like that guy loves
Yeah,
Michigan
he does.
so much.
He's just
He fell on the
resigned.
sword so bad. There is no way in a million years, no way that no one else in that organization knew what he was doing. No way.
Oh,
And so the fact that like he's been able, I would be surprised if there's not some sort of agreement even now for him to not turn between him.
well, he should have
and
sued
Harbaugh
he should
or
have sued
whatever.
Michigan.
Why isn't he suing?
That's
like,
what I'm saying. He should have.
It was
Yeah.
so funny when
Exactly.
Portnoy's like, yeah, that was him.
That's my favorite
Because he
part.
told me it
That was
him.
my favorite part.
And then it goes to
Portnoy.
him later, and he's like, I don't remember being there.
No, he's like, that's not me.
Yeah,
that
he's
doesn't
like-
look like me.
When he was doing his little Zoom call,
Yeah.
and he's like, I don't recall.
Oh
And,
yeah,
and they're like, he answered the question. He doesn't recall being there.
that's
It's
the
like,
best. So obviously that was him.
Of course
That's
it
the
was.
best
Obviously
part of
that
the
was
whole
him.
story.
That was the best part.
And then that no one from Central Michigan, it's been a year, and no one said anything. There's been no report.
How would Jim McElwain not know?
Yeah, of course he knew. There's no way. There's no way.
There's a
that
way.
Some dude gets on your sideline with glasses.
And he's like 5 feet away from the head coach.
I actually think there is a way. I think there's a way.
No
You
way.
just
Dude, but look
sneak
at how
in.
he got a
But
job.
they were like new. They like there was like multiple guys on Central Michigan staff that had worked for Michigan.
Sure.
Like there was all these ties. There's
That's
no
why I
way
think
that
it's-
someone didn't let him in there, man.
Right. I agree with that. But that's
gosh.
why I think it's interesting. He got a job because he just walked in and said, "Hey, can I have a
That
job?"
is so weird.
And they
Yeah.
said, "Sure."
Yeah.
know, like, hey, who are you? What do you know? Why are you good?
They also
It's like,
let you into the press conference today.
Yeah, it's kind of
see,
kind of apples to apples, man.
It's like
It's exactly-
pretty loose. Okay, it's pretty loose.
That story is super
That
fascinating
isn't
to me.
But of all those
man.
stories of the, what is it called? What is it? Told? What's the series?
Untold.
Untold. I didn't think that was the most compelling.
No, there's a lot of really good ones.
Really
John,
good ones.
Is that the Johnny Manziel one too?
That was Johnny
that
Manziel. That was
Untold?
Manti Te'o.
Manti Te'o was really
So
good. Was the
Steve McNair.
I didn't watch that one yet.
I mean, it's sadder, obviously.
What about Tim Tebow? Was that an
Tebow?
Untold? The
Like
Swamp Kings?
Yeah, that was.
That was great.
Those are
That
great,
was
dude.
great.
They do a good thing. They do a good work.
The fact that
Netflix.
ESPN started 30 for 30, you know what I mean? That
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of started
Yes.
the storylines. That was a good idea. Anyway, I am glad that's not a thing.
Dude, he wanted to
Anymore.
be Michigan's head coach so bad
Connor
that as
Stallion?
a teenager, he decided the best way for me to do that because he's researched good coaches
Yeah.
is I'm going to go to the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So he can't be a
and
coach
now he's screwed.
Yeah,
Now,
now he can't be a coach.
They won't even talk to the guy.
Yeah,
and
you
he was
can't
totally
be.
doing it for the school. I feel bad
Because
for
he
him
has like
to some
he
extent.
has like a 4-year suspension.
I do
That
like
he's
how
appealing.
I do like how Portnoy's like he can work for
Oh, yeah.
Barstool
Yeah.
for as long
Rest
as
of his
he
life.
wants.
Poor-
dude.
in some ways, Portner's horrible, but in some ways,
Dude,
I love
it's
that
so
He's
guy.
freaking hilarious,
Yeah, he
dude.
is. He is.
But the graphs and charts that guy had.
Yeah.
Did you see like the map of the
Yeah.
U.S. and where all the draft picks
Yeah.
came from? And he's like,
Yeah.
of course, I'm not going to share this with you.
What was it? Did he write the manifesto?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 6,000-page manifesto or something.
6,000
It's like
page?
thousands of pages.
No.
Yes.
I thought it was
thought you
hundreds
had
of pages.
six. No, I thought it was thousands.
6,000
You saw
pages?
Portnoy's shirt in it,
Yeah,
right?
man, I saw Manifesto.
Like, humiliate Ohio State.
All right.
thing is,
we were not
again.
even going to
That
talk
was in the
about
weeds.
this.
Have I written
are way in the
6,000
weeds.
pages in my life?
Of anything.
Combined?
Anything. Have you even
Compile
read
everything?
that many? You certainly
I've
haven't
listened.
written that many.
I've listened.
Maybe.
I wonder if our podcasts have had 6,000 pages. One whole manifest.
Wow.
Well, let's see. What's your okay, so we already know what
prediction.
Mark's prediction is.
0 to 150.
Don't lose by 50.
I want to lose by 20 or less. Less than 20. Cover
Less
the
than
spread.
21.
Give us a-
Cover the
Cover
spread,
the
and I'm happy.
spread.
Give us a score prediction, Mark.
Okay. I haven't thought about this, but I'm going to go 48-31.
Okay. I'm going to say 35, and we lose.
We score 35,
Yeah.
and we still lose.
And we lose.
I was going to say 34-17.
Oh.
So it's just kind of the opposite, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yours is
Whatever.
as good as anybody
Yeah,
else. We
who
have no
knows?
idea what it is. So
Yeah.
3 losses.
Yeah. I just, it would be awesome. I am hoping we're all wrong. Just think of this just for 1 minute. What if we win?
Oh, man.
What if we would win?
2-0.
Dude, we haven't had that
4-0
fire in
against
this
Oregon.
town in 10 plus
Oh,
years.
the people. Yeah, you could feel the energy.
Dude, the energy
It
would
would
be
just-
huge.
Yeah. Well, I think the season tickets
Sports
would
Center,
end.
that would be number one going
Yeah.
on Sunday morning. Of course,
Yeah.
that's the opening day of football, so it gets
People
buried and
might
it's on
say Boise
Peacock.
State is back.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, we would be
They
back.
would.
We would be
We
back.
would be back.
And then we'd lose all of
'Cause-
our coaches and all of our players.
Dude,
Not mid-season.
live for the
hopefully.
day, man. Live for today.
Hey.
You can't do anything other than that.
It would be fun if we won, and I would love if we did. Obviously.
Because Oregon's currently ranked number 2.
I don't know. They haven't done this week's
They
poll
haven't
yet.
done this week, but they were.
Oh, Monday. It comes out. Oh, wait,
What
today's
were
Monday.
they
It
on-
should come. It's the Labor Day,
What
whatever.
were they
They'll
on
come out tomorrow.
Saturday?
They were
Saturday.
3. I thought
3?
they were AP
Okay.
3.
I'm sure they're going to stay
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Either
Doesn't
way.
matter. They're going to be ranked. We're not going to be ranked. We're receiving votes, but we didn't do enough to
No.
get
Beating
ranked.
Georgia Southern is not
No.
going to do it. Did we bring up Brandon's hot take fail?
I don't think so.
We talked about it
Receipts.
before the pod.
We're gonna have a visual with this, right?
Yeah. Do
I can find that.
you remember what you said, Brandon?
Yes, I do.
Um,
I said Malachi would play in every game. And I stand by it.
does that count, does it count warm-ups?
Was he playing on the iPad?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You know who was really surprised that Malachi didn't play? My sons who play college football 25. they're like, who is Mad Dog? Like, who is that guy? And I was like, yeah, he starts. Yeah, I thought he would play. I don't know why. Actually, honestly, I don't know why they didn't get him in.
Well, it was a game
It was tight.
until
Yeah.
Still, like, I'm surprised they didn't have anything prepped
No,
for
I
him.
think
not-
you do that and you
I'm
create
not.
some controversy that you don't need.
yeah, exactly. And he's not like this. He's not like when Kellen Moore and then we brought Grant Hedrick in because he was a Wildcat guy or whatever.
You go to Malachi Nelson if Mad Dog gets hurt.
Yep.
Or if Mad Dog
So you
is
don't
just
play him at
sucking it
all?
up.
No.
Even if
we
he
don't need
earns
that
it during the week.
Okay, here's the thing. Maybe you put in one small package and you've told everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but yeah, it wasn't in the plan. They didn't need to go there.
After what's happened, honestly, I think that I know they wouldn't say it, but after what happened last year, after what happened this year, and the divide,
far away.
There
from
is
two
no
quarterbacks.
need. Like, what is the benefit? The risk reward for that is just it doesn't compute.
Well,
it does not compute.
There's some need to get in some game time experience because Malachi or Mad Dog did get injured last year. I don't know how good his knee is. Maybe not. And then if you want to, you have to have two quarterbacks that could come in if Mad Dog goes down. You don't want to lose a step. I honestly thought that they would have a package. The first drive of the second quarter, come in, hand off a couple times, see how far you can make it, go for it. Right.
Yeah.
I thought. Yeah. But I still want to see him play.
I'd love to see him
in live action.
But he probably will get his chance. He probably will get his chance.
So is this something you're going to put up a stat line that says I'm 0 for 1?
You're 0 for 1.
You're definitely 0 for 1. Yeah, 0 for 1.
I haven't thrown out a hot
I don't think we've had to. We need to think more about our hot takes because mine we won't even be able to acknowledge it till the end of the year. Or actually, if we lose a couple games early, we might be able to. That would suck.
That would suck. I hope you don't get that hot take wrong.
Yeah.
Well, you guys haven't even Crispy over there hasn't even thrown out any hot takes at all.
I'm a white guy named Crispy.
Not exactly sure what that's all
It's
about.
a Impractical Jokers reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's get that music going, Brandon. Let's get out of here. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Like we said before, please like the video, subscribe, leave us a comment. Comments are great. We read all of them. I think we respond to most of them. You guys do?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
So comment, keep the conversation going. Anything else, guys?
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. We will see you next week.